Hello everyone, welcome to another episode with Rusi Baby. Indeed, modern dating has become a complex experience. Yes, this is not just a game of instant gratification. With the rise of all these dating apps and social media platforms, navigating relationships have become more complex than ever. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about why modern dating is killing real love and how it has affected us more than we even think. Yes, that is what I'm going to be enlightening us on. But of course, before I begin, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also like and comment on my videos as well. Thank you so much for that. To all those that have been subscribing, commenting, thank you so much. So why is modern dating killing true love? No one wants to be vulnerable anymore. That is what is happening in our society today. People are scared. Young people are scared of being vulnerable to their partner. They're scared of the rejection, so they end up just keeping things, their talking stage, in the surface level. They don't want to be vulnerable to their partners anymore. The thing is that vulnerability is actually very important in a relationship. It's when you open up to your partner that the person will get to know you more and love you for who you truly are. But people are now scared of opening up in their relationship, and it is killing real love. Because if you don't open up to that person, the person gets to know you more, how will the love flow? Vulnerability is part of, loving someone. You have to be vulnerable to that person will be vulnerable to you anymore. But these days, people are scared of opening up. Ghosting has become normal in modern dating. The rate of ghosting is even increasing. Instead of people to end things maturely with their partner when they no longer want to be in that relationship, they just end up disappearing. They just disappear. Cut off things with that person. That is a very lazy and disrespectful way of ending a relationship. In fact, such a thing is even emotionally damaging. It is not right at all. If you want to end things with someone in a relationship with, you can do it officially. Do it in a matured way. But no, modern dating now is all about just ghosting the person. Such a thing can kill real love. So it really does. Yes, modern dating kills real love. Imagine treating someone like this. You're in a relationship with someone, and all of a sudden you just decided that you don't want to be in that relationship anymore. Instead of maturely ending that relationship, you decided to ghost the person. Do you know how emotionally damaged that person will feel? That's really bad, and it's happening in our society today. Relationships are no longer defined in modern dating. You see two people, they're always hanging out, they're always going out together, they behave like lovebirds, they vibe together, but what they tell each other is, let's see where this thing will take us to. They don't want to define their relationship. And that is what is happening in so many relationships today. The relationship is not defined. And that is how so many good and real relationships die even before they start. Because when a relationship is not defined, you will not know where to actually place that person. You don't know whether that person is a suitor, whether that person wants to marry you, whether you're in serious relationship with that person, or if it's just hit and run, or if it's just let's keep enjoying each other's company. When a relationship is not defined, anything can happen at any time. And that is what is happening in modern dating now. So every relationship should be defined. Social media has created unrealistic standards for modern dating. And this has really affected real love. You see two people in a relationship, one person is just this type of person that is always comparing their partner, comparing their relationship to what they see on social media. My dear, don't believe everything you see on social media. Your relationship should not be compared to what you see on all those Instagram reels and all those social media platforms. No. What you have in your relationship is what is real. But all those things you see on social media platforms, it's not everything that you believe. Some of those things are not even real. Some of those things are just acting. So do not use those social media standards to judge your relationship. Don't even apply those unrealistic standards in your relationship. If not, you end up damaging your relationship. And that is how modern dating kills love, because all those social media platforms end up making young people set unrealistic standards in their relationship that kills their relationship instead of building their relationship. Hookup culture in our society has now replaced emotional connection. Sex is now very, very common. Very, very common. But the thing is that in as much as sex is common, intimacy is now hard. Yes. Sex might be easy, might be common, it might be everywhere, but intimacy is hard. The thing is that there is actually a slight difference between sex and intimacy. Sex is just the act, but intimacy comes with the acts plus the emotional connection. And this hookup culture of a thing has affected so many relationships to the extent that they have lost emotion, which is really bad. And it kills real love. People are now addicted to validation in modern dating. In so many modern relationships, it's no longer about love. Now it's about money, it's about likes, attention, things that will boost their ego. It's about what people think about them, about their relationship, what they post on social media, or just unnecessary attention from people, from social media platforms. That is what is important to them. Their quest for validation in their relationship. What people think about their relationship is more important than what is in the relationship, what should be in the relationship. And this character, this mindset is killing a lot of genuine connection in people's relationship. Communication has been replaced with games in modern dating. In fact, people are no longer committed truly in their relationship. People are they are no longer interested in finding true love. People are even scared of commitment, real commitment. Now, if you're not truly committed in your relationship, how will you be able to have sincere and good communication with your partner? So you see that communication is very, very important. But this same communication that is important is lacking in a lot of modern relationships. And once communication is lacking, there cannot be full flow of emotional connection, which will eventually affect the real love that should be in that relationship. So you see that now that because a lot of modern relationships are lacking communication, real and good communication, it affects the love that should be in that relationship. In modern dating, people now prioritize chemistry over compatibility, whereas it should be compatibility over chemistry. Now, people chase butterflies, people chase fantasies in their relationship. They now even ignore red flags. It is good to pursue passion, but pursuing fantasies will not help you build long-term love. It doesn't build long-term love. But that is what is happening in most modern relationships now. People are pursuing fantasies. People no longer check compatibility level. Even the that say that they are in serious relationship, they no longer prioritize compatibility. Compatibility should be prioritized over chemistry. If you really want that relationship to go far, if you really want it to, to enter into marriage one day, compatibility is very important. But the thing is that people are no longer prioritizing compatibility. And that is why the rate of divorce keeps increasing. You see a lot of young marriage of 2, 3, 5 years getting divorced. Why? Because some people chose chemistry over compatibility instead of choosing compatibility, which is more important, over chemistry. Dating apps has really affected modern relationships because through dating app, you just go through a person's profile, you just focus on their looks, whatever it is they wrote in their profile, their hobbies, what they do, and all those things, and you're already in love with that person. You love someone you don't know, you have never even seen that person before, but all because of what that person wrote in his or her profile, you think you're already in love with that person. That is even the highest rate of pursuing fantasies. How can you be in love with someone you don't even know? You just saw the person profile and feel like you already love that person. That is pure infatuation. And it has affected so many modern relationships, which will eventually affect true love. Because if you see a lot of things that you like about the person in the person's profile, and you finally, after dating the person online for a long time. You now meet the person, and the person is not what you thought the person was. It can kill real love, and that is what is happening because so many people use these dating apps now. So all these dating apps should be, the rate of using those dating apps should be reduced because it's affecting the true connection that people should have. What about that person's personality? What about the person's values? What about other things that you should know about the person before you say you love the person? These things are more important than pictures, than things that the person wrote in his or her bio. It is very, very important, please. Modern dating now comes with a lot of things. People now date for entertainment. People no longer date for intention. You see someone, they date for because they are bored. They date because they are lonely. They date because they are looking for a distraction. In fact, someone could be in a relationship because he or she wants to get back at his or her ex. You know, all those kind of things. When you date, when you enter into a relationship without an intention to love that person, without being intentional about the love, the care, and everything towards that person, you end up wasting time, you end up wasting hearts, you end up killing the real love, you end up breaking someone's heart. So date for the right reason, date with intentionality. There is no room for sincere effort in modern dating, in modern relationships anymore. People are now half in and half out in their relationships. One foot in their relationship and one foot in someone else's DM. In modern relationship, commitment is now optional, and it kills real love. Commitment is not meant to be optional, but that is what is happening in our society. You see someone, he or she says that they are in a relationship, but you see them behaving as if they are not in a relationship, and it is really killing love. Because if you're in a relationship with such a person that has one foot in that relationship and one foot in another place, how can you have true commitment in that relationship? In fact, if that person misbehaves any day, it can affect you. It causes a lot of heartbreak to that person's partner. It's really bad. Trust has now become very, very scarce in so many relationships, so many modern relationships. Because of lack of trust, people now expect to be cheated on. People now expect to be lied to be used. And such character, lack of trust, which is also seen as insecurity, can make you lose the right person, lose good people. For example, a lady that has this mindset that all men are cheats, any man that comes her way is also a suspect. She's in a relationship with a guy, but every time she's suspecting that this guy is cheating on her, the guy is on a call, for example, with another lady. She doesn't know who that lady is. It could be his sister, his mother, his colleague, a friend, and she's already suspecting that the guy is cheating on her. That is what is happening. The rate of insecurity is now very high. People no longer trust their partners in relationship, and it is affecting true connection. It is affecting the emotional connection. It is affecting the real love that should be in relationships. In modern dating, people no longer heal before dating again. They just jump from person to person, end up carrying their emotional baggage from one relationship to another. That is not how it should be. When you're in a relationship and you are emotionally hurt, and you ended that relationship, give yourself time to heal before entering another relationship. Because if you don't heal before entering another relationship, you end up carrying that emotional baggage in you, and it will not help you to move on. It will make you not to move on. You cannot even be truly committed in that new relationship. But when you heal, you'll be able to move on. You'll be able to relieve yourself of any emotional baggage and find real love again. Situationships have now replaced relationships in modern dating. So the modern relationship, they just act like a couple. They are not willing to make any form of commitment. They are just in that relationship for their own selfish reasons. They are not even ready to call that relationship a serious relationship. There is no room for commitment. They are not intentional about anything. They are just together because they just want to be together for the meantime, for their own selfish reasons. And they keep telling themselves, let's just see how it goes. It kills real love. Because every relationship true relationship, good relationship should be defined. But you end up noticing that so many modern relationships are not defined. People don't know how to handle conflict anymore in modern dating, modern relationships. You see people, when they have misunderstandings in their relationship, instead of them to sit down together and solve that problem and handle that misunderstanding and talk about it, they will rather block and ghost their partner. That is what is happening. My dear, real love comes with having real conflict resolution. There will always be misunderstandings. Is that how you keep jumping from one relationship to another, and whenever you have misunderstanding with your partner, you just ghost the person, block the person, and you're moving on to the next relationship? No. If you really want to find a real good relationship, if you really want to find real love, then you have to be ready to find real conflict resolution. That is what will help your relationship to even be stronger. When you have misunderstandings and you now resolve those misunderstandings, you will move on with your partner, and both of you continue to be happy. Not running away from those misunderstandings will not solve the issue. In fact, it will even compound the problem. So learn to sit down and resolve whatever misunderstanding you have with your partner. That is why communication remains the key in every relationship. Last but not the least, emotional availability is now becoming very rare in modern dating. Many people want a partner, but they are not ready to be emotionally available for their partner. My dear, if you really want to build real love, something real with a person, you have to be emotionally available. If not, you cannot build a substantial relationship. Once you're emotionally unavailable, you cannot build a strong emotional connection with your partner. So emotional availability is very important. But you see that it is now a very rare something in most modern relationships, which kills real love. Because if you're not emotionally connected with your partner, the love cannot flow. The real love will not even be there. And finally, for today's episode on why modern dating kills real love. Everybody wants love, but very few wants to do the work. Love is all about responsibility. Love is all about effort. If you don't put effort, it will not work. So yes, you have to put effort for that relationship to work. If you are not really willing to put effort, then that relationship will be lost. And that is what is happening in a lot of modern relationships. People no longer want to put effort, but still they want the relationship to work. No, you cannot eat your cake and have it. So you have to learn to make intentional efforts for that relationship to work. In summary, modern dating is fast, it's flashy, it's convenient, but real love, it takes time and it requires effort. Quick question: what do you think is the reason why modern relationships are broken? I'll be waiting for your answers in the comment section. So that is all for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you so much for listening. And please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Also like and comment. Please don't forget to comment. I'm waiting for the answers to the question I just asked in the comment section. Let's meet there and let me see your opinions about this modern dating of a thing. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next episode.